This is KE7THQ with tonight's training. The slides and the script are posted on the ERC website, so if you bring them up, that will maybe help you some. I don't know. On slide 1, the topic tonight is emergency traffic. You know, just about every net we participate in, we hear the phrase, relay information and emergency traffic will be accepted at any time. If there is any priority traffic, it should be listed now. So the question is, what is emergency traffic? And how is it different from priority traffic? Now, how do we handle emergency traffic as an operator and as a net control operator? Let's go to slide 2. So what is emergency traffic? Emergency traffic in amateur radio refers to communications that are critical for safety of life and property during emergency or disaster. This type of traffic is prioritized over regular communications to ensure that urgent messages are transmitted quickly and effectively. Let's go to slide 3. What is priority traffic and how is it different? Well, priority traffic are important messages that have a specific time limit. I was unable to figure out what that specific time limit meant, but I'm assuming that it just means it's not really super important. But it is also official messages which are covered in the not covered in the emergency category, and other things such as press dispatches and emergency-related traffic, not of the utmost urgency. Let's go to slide 4. Now, as an operator, how do you handle emergency traffic? First of all, you've got to prepare your equipment. You've got to ensure your radio is in good working condition. You've got to have your batteries charged. You've got to have a proper antenna set up. And it is advisable that you have emergency frequencies programmed into your radio to avoid scrambling during a crisis. Let's go to slide 5. You need to know what emergency frequencies are available. Now, in an emergency, just about any frequency can be used. However, there are some frequencies that you will be able to have a better chance of getting somebody. The 146.520 megahertz simplex frequency on 2 meters is the national simplex frequency, and it is often monitored by other ham operators. On UHF, it's 446.000 megahertz, and that's the national frequency, simplex frequency for the 70 centimeter band. 14.300 megahertz is part of the 20 meter band, and it's widely used by amateur radio during emergencies and is often employed during coordinating communications among emergency response teams and organizations like the Red Cross. 7.0 to 7.3 megahertz, this range is part of the 40 meter band, and it's also used for emergency communications. The 3.5 to 4.0 megahertz is part of the 80 meter band and can be used for emergency communications, especially during nighttime when lower frequencies tend to propagate better. This is KE7THQ with tonight's training. Let's go to slide 6. Let's go to what kind of steps do you need to take to make an emergency call on your radio? Let's go to slide 7. First of all, you need to choose the right frequency, and we just discussed frequencies. So here's a list of some of the same frequencies, but first, if you're on VHF like we are tonight, you can choose a local repeater frequency, and in this area, 146.88 megahertz repeater, this this repeater is a good one to start with in this area. If no repeater is available, you can always try 146.520 megahertz simplex. And we've already talked about the other frequencies available, but they are listed on this slide. Let's go to slide 8. First thing you need to do is announce your emergency clearly. Use the word emergency or mayday to get immediate attention. Now, I'm not going to announce this, but you can read the example on how to announce an emergency, and we'll go from there. Let's go to slide 9. Then you need to wait for a response, which means you need to release the push to talk button and listen. If no one responds, repeat your call every few seconds. Try different frequencies if necessary. But don't wear out your batteries. Let's go to slide 10. Now this is information that you may want to write down before you start making your call, so that you can give it clearly and accurately. First of all, you need to give who you are, which is your call sign and your name. You need to give where you are. If you have GPS coordinates, that's great. Otherwise, landmarks, clear description, addresses, whatever you can to give them your location. Tell them shortly and succinctly what is happening. What is the nature of your emergency? Is it medical, fire? Are you lost? What exactly is your emergency? And what kind of help do you need? Be specific on the help required. Keep your transmission as short as possible. Go to slide 11, please. After you make your call, stay on frequency. Once contact is made, remain on that frequency unless instructed otherwise. Follow the instructions of the responding station or emergency net control. Slide 12. If you're a net control operator, how do you handle an emergency? Well, first of all, you communicate clearly and calmly. You need to make a rapid determination on how the request is to be handled. And very important is to log all communications. This helps you and helps other people when they need to reconstruct it later on. Let's go to slide 13. This is also very important to use plain language. Message construction should use plain language to avoid the use of contractions and omit any language that does not contribute to the meaning of the message being conveyed. Use of phonetics should be used whenever spelling a word that may be in question. Do not use jargon, including 10 codes, Q signals, and slang that should be strictly avoided. The only exception is that Q signals may be used in a CW net. Interaction with public safety, government, and non-government agencies requires the use of plain language. Any kind of jargon may have no meaning, or worse, a different meaning than was intended. Let's go to slide 14. This has been a brief introduction of emergency traffic. Keep practicing. That's what nets are for. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections? Please come now with your call sign.
KB7ITU.
KB7ITU. Good evening, Steve. Go ahead.
Hey, Charles. Thank you for the reminder. That's great to be reminded of all this. So recently, I heard something over the air, and a lot of people don't realize this, but some of the older hams, they'll recognize it right off the bat. If you call break, 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 on a frequency, that is usually a response for an emergency as well. So don't do that either. not unless you've got an emergency, because a lot of the HF nets and things like that will respond to that as an emergency call. Back to you, Charles. Thanks for the great training. KV7ITU.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that information. It's always good to know in case that might be something that you hear and you would know how to respond to it. Thanks for the information. Any other questions or comments or corrections?
Kilo Mike 4, Quebec Alpha Alpha.
Quebec Alpha Alpha, go ahead.
Yes, I wonder if a priority message might be something like there will be a net on a certain frequency in 2 hours' time, or everyone should meet, a list of people should meet at the Walmart parking lot in 2 hours. Would something like that be considered a priority message? That it's timely, but it's not immediate?
Well, I am not sure. It sounds logical. Anybody else have a comment on that?
At KB7ITU.
Go ahead, Steve. Thanks.
Yeah, that would be a bulletin or a QST, Paul, not a priority. Over.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that information. Did that answer your question, Paul?
Yes, and of course that sort of makes it questionable about what would be a priority message, but QST definitely will take care of an awful lot of things. Thanks a lot.
You're absolutely correct. Any other questions or comments tonight?
KB7ITU.
Go ahead again, Steve.
So priority and emergency are really, really close together, right? So in fact, there's a lot of nets that respond to priority as, similar to, quite a bit the same as emergencies. So, they're really, really close. There is a full written piece of information out there for the priorities and emergencies and QSTs and all that kind of thing. So if you want, Paul, I can look that up for you and forward that to you. Over.
Thank you, Steve. That helps us a lot. Appreciate that. Any other questions or comments tonight? Nothing heard. We'll turn the time back over to KF7BRO. Back to you, Holly.